welcome to my channel. My name is Dnour, and I'm excited to share with you guys different makeup looks and tutorials, different products that I find interesting and that are new and trending in the makeup world, and even reviews on different makeup and cosmetic products. So this is my first video and I want to welcome all of you guys. This is the look that we'll be doing today, so if you're interested and you like this look, go ahead and keep watching. First, I'm going to go in with the brows. I always do this step first because it allows me to carve my brows nicely so then it'll just lead me into my eyeshadow. So first I go in with the end of the arch. And as you could see, this eyebrow has a bald spot at the arch. So what I like to do is I like to start at the end and then draw out the missing arch, which is right here. And I like to go heavier on the top because I feel like it gives it a more natural look. So now that the brows are done, I'm gonna go ahead and carve my eyebrow with my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. So as you could see when I was filling in my brows and when I'm, carving it like this, I'm always starting from the end and making my way through to the front. And then I'll just drag it down and add it to the base of my eyelid. And then you could just blend it in the rest with your finger. So now I'm gonna go in with my eyelid primer. A lot of people ask me about this because it really makes a difference on your eyeshadow application. It really makes the colors that you're applying on your eyelids pop and show the true color. So my favorite is the Benefit Stay Don't Stray. I primarily use this one. I know some people also use Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and other types of concealers to set their eyelids, but for me, my skin tends to get more oily, so I don't recommend that for people who have more oilier skin. When you do have oily skin, the eyeshadow tends to crease up into your eyelids throughout the day, which is not fun. And so I mainly use this. And I'm gonna go ahead and blend that out with my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Complexion brush. Now I'm going in with my E45 Morphe brush. This brush allows me to just set my eyelids. You can really use any brush for this. I just like this one because it's very thick and fluffy. And it's actually like the perfect size for my eyelid. While you're here, you can actually also drag that onto the eyebrow. It doesn't really hurt to set your eyebrow every once in a while. I cannot live without the setting powder. I'm gonna be using the Kylie Cosmetics palette in bronze. This is actually one of my favorite palettes and probably even one of my first. I'm gonna go in with the lightest shade on the palette, and it's actually called Jasper. It's right here. And I'm gonna bring that under my eyebrow, right onto my brow bone. And then next we're gonna be going in with, it's actually my favorite color in the palette. It's this one right here. Using my Morphe E45. I'm gonna tilt your head back and get right under the brow bone. It's actually a little bit too big. Go in again with my M330 Morphe brush. It's a little bit more tapered than the last brush I was trying to use. And then I'm going to use a blending brush to create a nice gradient between our first color and our second color. So I'm going in with my Morphe G13 brush. It's like flat on one side, thinner on the one side and like wider on the other. So it really allows you to get right into the crease right there. It's okay if it gets a little messy on your lid itself, because we're gonna go ahead and carve that out very soon. We're gonna go into the Morphe 25C palette. I believe this one's called Hey Girl Hey, but just as a reference, it's 25C. It's such a pretty palette. It has very mauvey tones and warm tones, but I'm gonna be going in with this color all the way on the top right and just putting that into the ends of my eye. And since we are using a darker color, I'm gonna go in with an even flatter and more defined brush. MAC 239 SES. When you're using a darker color, you wanna make sure it's secured in the ends. So this is what we're gonna just pack it on. And then blend it. I'm gonna use my blending brush again, which is my E30, and blend that out. So we're gonna carve out the brow now, and I'm actually gonna be using both of my Tarte Shape Tape concealers. I have it in both medium and in light medium honey. And I am using my Morphe M166 brush. So I like to start from the middle. And I never like to go higher. Well, you want to make sure you don't go higher than your socket line, which is right here. So you could see it if you open your eye a little bit. And you've set your maximum line, and then you just drag it down slowly. And continuously just make sure you're right at the line of your socket. I know that sounds weird. Line of your socket. I'm gonna go ahead and blend the sides of until where we've applied concealer, and I'm gonna use the Morphe G13 brush. And I'm gonna go in and use this color on the Kylie palette, just because it's a lighter color. So I'm gonna be using my favorite palette, which is this one. This is the Morphe X Jaclyn Hill palette. It has so many nice colors and a huge variance of colors, and it's amazing quality. And I'm gonna be going in with this color right here. And I'm gonna use my MAC 239 brush. You want to just pack that on as well. And then we'll blend after. Back into the Kylie palette with the Goldstone, so I can blend out the edges of the crease. With most looks that I do, I don't like when the crease is too precise. I don't know why. So again, I'm gonna start from the end and make my way down. And these in the rainbow position. But I always like to do eyeshadow before I put on the rest of my face, just in case fallout or like excess eyeshadow gets onto my skin. I'm just gonna wipe off under. So if we had put on foundation, we would just wipe off everything. Now we're gonna start the face. And to start the face, my first step is always to use this primer. It's by Tarte and it's called Poreless. It's a vegan silicone texture. So when you put it on, it feels really smooth. And what it does, it just fills in the gaps of your pores. So for me, as you can tell, I suffer from large pores. So I don't put it all over the face. And before I started this video, I just moistened up my face by putting my regular moisturizer. First, I rub it into the skin. and then I rub it onto the face, and I mainly put it in areas that I have pores. So by my nose, on my cheeks, a little bit down here, just like the excess. And then again on this side. A little bit on the nose. In the crease of the nose. And down here on the chin. Foundation. So these two are my favorite foundations right now. Okay, this one was like $6 or $7, and this one is like 50 or 60. I don't know exactly how much it is, but I will link this in the description below. So this is how much of the Maybelline Fit Me foundation I put, and then I'll put like 2 squirts. Maybe even one more. Squirt. I'm just blending it on my plate, and I always start from the bottom of the face. So now we're just gonna even out that layer by using a beauty blender. And before I started all this, I wet my beauty blender. I just put it under the sink and I go like that, kind of like you're taking someone's blood pressure. And then you just squeeze all the water out, and then you just dry it with a clean towel. And you just wanna make sure you got most of the water out. But I don't know if you guys already know, but the beauty blender changes in size as it gets more and more wet. And the reason you want to always wet your beauty blender is because the pores of the beauty blender get bigger, and the job it does, like the reason you always want to use this is because it mimics the way your pores are on your face, which just gives you a more natural look. So you don't look too cakey, you don't look too powdery, and your foundation looks flawless like your skin. And then I'm going to use my Tarte foundation. I love this foundation. It has so much coverage, but it's also so milky, and it's such a great foundation. I highly recommend. Is it in the shade medium? So what I like to do is just draw a few lines. And you really don't need that much, honestly. And then you have to blend it out right by the eye. And then I'm gonna set the under eye before it starts to crease. My face tends to crease really fast. One thing about the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer is that it dries really fast. So even me right now, I waited a little too long to blend it out. I mean, you're still able to blend it out, but it's just a little harder. Oh, now I'm gonna set the chin, nose, and the forehead. And for me, those are just areas that it's like my T-zone. So I get more oily in those areas. I'm gonna start with highlight. And this is my favorite highlight right now, which is the Dose of Colors Desi X Katie highlight. I'm gonna use my Morphe R31 brush. It's actually from the Rose Gold collection. And you always want to put highlight on the part of your face that you feel sun hits the most. Right there is the perfect area for highlight. So I start from the bone and I drag it up and then just blend it all out. And put a little at the arch of the brow. It's at the highest points of your face. Ooh. Let's put it here too. While we're here, why not? This is actually not a NARS brush. I know it looks like one. This is a Japonesque brush, which I also got from Ulta. It's extremely tapered at the top. It's super fluffy, soft. This was like half the price of a NARS brush. And it has just as good quality. I love it. I'm going to be using my Too Faced Chocolate Solier bronzer in the shade medium. I like to tap it on first so that it doesn't take all of my foundation off. Like wiping it, I feel like takes off the foundation. So first I tap it on, and then I just blend it through. And then I bring it to the sides of the forehead. And this is just to give your forehead not look as big, which is my favorite part of contouring. The sun's peeking through. The sun is peeking through. Okay, so now that we've wiped off all of the excess powder, we can go ahead and do blush. I'm using MAC in Peaches. I think this is such a nice, like, natural looking blush. I personally don't like looking too red and too blushed. I feel like, I don't know, I ain't always blushing like that naturally. Where's my blush brush? So you're gonna smile, apples of your cheeks, and then drag it back. I'm gonna be using the Voluminous Lash Paradise by L'Oreal. This, in my opinion, is a complete dupe of the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. It's such a good mascara, this one, and it's like, I don't know, like less than $10 from your nearest drugstore. So I'm gonna be using Morphe lashes in Santa Monica. These, right now, Morphe lashes are my thing because they're only $3 and they're just amazing. Like, they're very lightweight. I can never even tell that I'm wearing lashes when I have these on, and they're extremely wispy. So, highly recommend. Highly recommend. I had to put on the rest of my lashes off camera. I'm probably gonna make another video on how to put eyelashes on in a couple of easy steps. It just wasn't easy to put this one on for some reason, but we just had a few technical difficulties and we're back into it. So I'm going to go back into the Kylie Cosmetics eyeshadow. And I'm actually gonna go back into the burnt orange color. I don't know why I keep calling it burnt orange. It's called Goldstone. No. Oh my gosh. This entire time I've been saying it wrong. The color I'm continuously using is called Tiger Eye. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. So we're gonna go under and just put that in lightly. And I'm using my MAC 239 brush. I don't want the bottom of the eye to look too heavy because I'm looking for a more natural look. And when you put mascara on your lower lash line, it just brings more pop into the eye. So just go ahead and put mascara. And I'm gonna put in highlight when I can find my highlight. I don't know where it is. I'm gonna put in highlight in the tear duct. That's actually the part of the eye that I get the most compliments on. So I'm going back in with the highlight that we used, and I'm just gonna dab it in right here. Okay, we're gonna be using MAC Taupe. This shade is like my to-go shade. It's like, ugh. It's like the perfect nude. Okay, so this is the final look. What you think? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I'll go ahead and link everything down below in the description. And also feel free to subscribe and also leave any comments down below if you have any products or tips and tricks that you do for certain makeup looks. I'd be more than happy to share ideas with anyone who's willing to give and take and, you know, maybe collab. Also, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in my next video. So, bye. I know, they should subscribe. Yeah! They should subscribe, huh? I know. Oh, and like it too, and give it a thumbs up.